Once upon a time, oh bless you, put your hand over your mouth when you sneeze. Once upon a time, there was a bridge called London Bridge. It was a very big bridge over the River Thames, which is in London. And every day, people would cross over the bridge, walking from one side to the other. Sometimes people were crossing carrying baskets of goods to sell, like baskets of bread or baskets of fruit. Other times they were carrying empty baskets or shopping bags because they're going shopping. Some people were carrying their tools. For example, workman's tools. If it was a carpenter, he'd probably be carrying a saw, a hammer, a chisel, some nails and some screws and some nuts. If it was a plumber, he'd probably be carrying some pipes and joints and things like that. If it was a plasterer, he'd probably be carrying some plaster and paint and things. So yeah, they would cross the bridge every day. Now, one day, there was a little boy who was playing football on the bridge, and he was kicking the ball around with his friends. Wasn't one little boy, several little boys. They're kicking the ball from one to the other, and one of the boys kicked the ball onto the edge of the bridge, and it bounced on a brick by the side of the bridge, and the brick went grrr, and then fell off the edge of the bridge, down, 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 down into the water, and went splash. Then another brick fell off the bridge. Splosh! It went in the water underneath. The boys thought nothing of it. Well, a couple of bricks in the water. London Bridge has got lots of bricks. It doesn't really matter. So they kept kicking the ball and kicked it into the wall of the bridge again, and boom, crack, crack, another stone fell in the water. Then another brick, then another brick. Well, it was a little bit worrying. And then one of the boys kicked the ball high up in the air, and it landed on the ground, boom, and bounced very hard. But just where it bounced, there was a cracking sound, and bits of concrete started to crumble away and fall into the river. Then there was terrible groaning, moaning sound as more and more bits of concrete and bricks started to crack away from the structure of the bridge, and then the iron and the steel which is holding the bridge up started to bend and twist and warp as it slowly twisted the bridge, and the bridge started to turn over slowly, and then finally the bits started falling off faster and faster until the London Bridge was falling down. People everywhere, all over London said, look, London Bridge is falling down, London Bridge is falling down. They didn't know what to do. So the Lord Mayor of London said,
Let's do an upside down. The cinema upside down.
The bridge went upside down and fell in the water. But the Lord Mayor of London said, we have to build another bridge. People have to get from one side to the other. How will the carpenter get from one side to the other with his wood? How will the pipe maker, the plumber, get from one side to the other with his pipes? What about the baker with his bread, or the butcher with his meat? How will they get from one side to the other? What about the greengrocer? He needs to take his vegetables and his fruit across the bridge. Nobody will be able to go from one side to the other, and moreover, the housewives won't be able to go shopping on the other side of the bridge. We have to build a bridge, he said. So he decided to have a competition for everybody to come up with their best design for the bridge. And so everybody who thought they were any good at building bridges sent a drawing of what they thought the bridge should look like. Some people built their bridges said their bridge should be built of bricks. Some said it should be built of iron and steel. Some said of gold and silver, but of course that's too expensive. You can't build a bridge of gold and silver. Some said build it of bricks and mortar. Some said build it with wood. So everyone had their own idea, and everyone had their own design. Anyway, the little boy who was playing the football had an idea what a bridge should really look like. So he got a bit of paper and some crayons and started to draw a bridge over a river. The more he drew it, the more he had good ideas. He thought, it'd be very good if this bridge had a place where children could play football. So he drew a wider bridge than before with some goalposts to play football. Then he thought, a bridge isn't really a bridge unless it's got some turrets and towers. So he built some turrets and towers on the bridge, on his picture. Then he thought, of course, it'd be very nice if there's some mascots like lions and tigers and bears and things made in stone on the bridge, give it a bit of character. So he drew those, and little by little he drew the bridge. And then he thought, well, it'd be nice if the bridge was made of gold, but that's too expensive. But we could always paint it gold. So then he coloured bits of the bridge, nice, colourful, bright gold coloured. And other bits he coloured bright red. There's some bits he coloured green and brown and blue and pink and yellow and orange and mauve and silver. And eventually, when he'd finished drawing his picture, it was quite a nice drawing of a bridge. He took it along to the Lord Mayor's office and put it in the pile of all the other pictures. He wrote his name on it. And the Lord Mayor and all the other members of the town council had a look at all the pictures, and one by one they discarded them or put them in the shortlist. Finally, the boy's picture was in the shortlist. Out of all the pictures, they chose 3 bridges that they liked. And one was the little boy who played football. Then the Lord Mayor made a big announcement. Ladies and gentlemen, next week we are going to decide whose picture of the bridge we are going to do. So they put the 3 pictures which were on the shortlist up on the public board and asked everybody in town to say what they thought. So people passed by, looked at the pictures and admired them. Some liked one picture, some liked another one, some liked the third one. The little boy's picture had a lot of admirers. People really liked the colours. Oh, something's going beep beep. How can we stop that? There, stop it. Yeah, stopped. People really liked the colours, and especially the gold. They thought people thought having gold on a bridge, even if it wasn't real gold, but gold paint, made it look very special and very royal. They also liked the lions, the tigers, and the bears, which were going to be made in stone on the edge of the bridge. And they liked lots of things about the bridge, like the towers and the turrets that were going to be on the bridge. And finally, the day came when the judge was going to ask the people in the town to choose the best picture for the bridge. So he held up the pictures one by one, and he said, "Everybody cheer." So he held up the first picture, and some people cheered. Then he held up the second picture, and some more people cheered. Then he held up the little boy's picture, and then everybody cheered. The crowd went crazy, whistling, screaming, yelling, "That one, we want it!" It was an amazing scene to see the dancing with joy and the yelling and the screaming and the shouting in the crowd. Everybody wanted the little boy's bridge. So the Lord Mayor said, "I think that's a decision. We're going to build the little boy's bridge." So they set to work with many people building the bridge, lots of workers, the bridge builders, the architects, the stonemasons, the ironmongers, you name it. Everybody who could have anything to do with putting things together was working on the bridge. And slowly but surely, the bridge went across the river like that. And then it was finished, and finally there was just a bit in the middle, so the bridge was being built from the side like that, and finally there was just a gap in the middle, and all they needed was one large stone to wedge in the middle to go, and they carried the stone onto the side of the bridge, and then the 2 sides, there's a gap in the middle, were standing on either side, and they took the stone and dropped it in the hole, and boom, the bridge was sealed. Now it was finished. And the Lord Mayor ordered a giant party on the bridge. So everybody got on the bridge and had a party. They gave presents to all the children, footballs, balloons, toys, whistles, scarves, hats, kites. Whatever you can think of. Horse and cart, toy horse and cart, that is. Anything you can think of. The children got presents, and they had a discotheque with lots of loud music, and played music, and all the young people danced to the music, and all the old people had a kitchen where they could have soup or wine or beer or whiskey or gin or whatever they wanted, and they danced and sang, and they had a whole party lasting 3 whole days to celebrate the wonderful bridge that had been designed by that little boy. And that was the best bridge ever. And now we're going to go and look on the internet to have a look what the bridge looks like. And that's the end of the story.
Are you going to say so again?
You're going to hear it again, but first I'm going to show you what the bridge looks like by looking at the bridge. We're going to look at London Bridge. It's called Tower Bridge now. Shall we have a look? I'll stop the recording and we're going to look.
Bridge, London.
Oh, we can sing it. Shall we sing London Bridge is falling down?
No, the Ellen Hour what it looks like.
Okay, we're going to look what it looks like.